Cubs starter Justin Steele was never a top prospect. He throws just 2 pitches, his fastball averages just 92 miles per hour, he's not a particularly imposing presence on the mound, and he hasn't played a full major league season till this year at age 28. He's just generally gone under everyone's radar. Yet in 2023, Steele has been one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball and is closing in on a top 2 finish at least in NL Cy Young voting. Steele started out as a pretty low-key high school draft prospect, pitching for George County High School in Lucedale, Mississippi, but a string of strong performances in April and May of 2014 brought him lots of attention from the Cubs scouts, as well as those of the Royals and the White Sox. The Royals told Steele they would take him in the 3rd or 4th round. Instead, they took Eric Skoglund in the 3rd and DJ Burt in the 4th. Then the Cubs came calling, telling the young lefty that they wanted to pick him in the 4th. They turned around and picked Carson Sands instead. The combined Major League WAR of all the players taken instead of Steele is negative .07, while Steele has 4.1 WAR in 2023 alone. The Cubs would finally take Steele in the 5th round, and in the minors, Steele was inconsistent, but he did show promise, especially in 2017. Thing is, that year, in August, he injured his left elbow, requiring Tommy John surgery. This was kind of a blessing in disguise though. He handled the rehab process really well, which allowed him to thrive in a somewhat similar situation in 2020, where he was healthy but obviously not playing in real games. Steele started the 2021 season in AAA and put up a 1.32 ERA in 9 appearances before the Cubs called him up, and he debuted on the 12th of April as a relief pitcher. Steele impressed as a reliever in his age 25 rookie season, posting an ERA of 2.03 and 13.1 innings out the pen before the Cubs made him a full-time starter, and he put up an ERA of 4.95 in 9 starts. That wasn't great, but the Cubs decided to stick with him. While walks were an issue and a few too many balls landed in the seats, Steele was good at limiting hard contact, and I guess you didn't need to do that much more than that to get a spot on the 2022 Cubs. And 2022 was where things really took off. Before May 31st, Steele had an ERA of 5.40 as a starter, but things started clicking in a huge way, and up until injury issues that cut his season short in late August, Steele put up an ERA of 2.25 in his next 15 starts. His dominance peaked that August pre-injury, as his ERA during the month was 0.96, while he was carrying a .350 batting average on balls in play, which is a sign of some pretty terrible luck. With an ERA of 3.18 in 24 starts by season's end, Steele had established himself as a staple in the Cubs rotation and was one of baseball's best pitchers down the stretch, using his fastball and slider together beautifully to keep hitters off balance and be among the league's best at limiting hard contact and inducing ground balls. Even though he struggled for the first couple months of the season, he gave up just 8 home runs in 119 innings, good for just 0.6 home runs per 9, one of the best marks in the league. Once again though, Steele did issue a lot of walks. That has changed though in a big way in 2023. While Steele is giving up hard contact slightly more often, his walk rate has gone from 9.8% last year to just 5.3% this year. Hitters have also started to chase his pitches more after hardly doing so last season. While continuing to get over 9 strikeouts per 9 innings and limiting the home run ball at an elite level, as well as having an elite infield defense behind him, Steele has taken the next step this year. As of now, he's 16-3 with a 2.55 ERA, a 1.4 WHIP, and a 2.98 FIP in 26 starts, stats that put him right around the top of the NL Cy Young race. His main competitors as of now are Blake Snell and Spencer Strider, though guys like Zach Gallen and Kodai Senga do lurk closely behind. And while I don't want to make a bunch of stat comparisons till the year is actually over, right now it looks like Steele's got to be either 1st or 2nd. Snell has the slightly lower ERA and more Ks, but also almost triple Steele's walks and a way higher FIP. Strider, on the other hand, does have Steele tied in wins and has way more Ks and a lower FIP, but an ERA over a run higher than Steele's, and I don't think you can justify giving him the Cy Young when Snell and Steele's ERAs are way lower, despite his various other advantages. They all have a few more starts to make their cases though, and no matter where Justin Steele ends up in the voting, he has had an incredible ride at the top of the Cubs rotation as they make their run to the playoffs, and he seems to be picking up steam heading into the last few weeks of the season. After putting up an ERA of 4.13 in his first 5 August starts, Steele has since fired 14 straight scoreless innings with 20 Ks and just 3 combined walks in his last 2 starts against Milwaukee and San Francisco. At age 28, it has taken a long time for Steele to get where he is, but he has most definitely emerged as one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. There hasn't been one specific change he's made across his career to attribute his breakout to, though I guess abandoning his curveball for a slider was pretty huge. but he has just become a great pitcher through putting in the work. I can't wait to see how he ends this season and pitches in the coming years. As he's a smart pitcher who isn't reliant on velocity, there is a lot of sustainability, I think, to what he's doing, and hitters just can't seem to figure him out. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please do drop a like and subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next one.